The mountains and rivers of Sichuan Province, China, are like a gorgeous tapestry, rolling out of the plateau from the northwest to the southeast. The Qinghai-Tibet Plateau began emerging 50 million years ago. After its rapid uplift in the Quaternary period, 97 high mountains, each over 5,000 meters high, came into being west of the Sichuan Basin. Because of the magnificent Hengduan Mountains, the landforms in the east and west of Sichuan differ greatly. Western Sichuan has high plateaus and towering snow-capped mountains. Its varied geology creates a vertical zonation blessed with great biological diversity. It is the core of the mountains of southwest China, one of the 36 biodiversity hotspots in the world. The Sichuan Basin has a stable geological environment and dense population, and is the cradle of the ancient Bashu culture. It's one of the most spellbinding places on this planet. This plant, called jellyfish snowshoe hare in China, is frequently seen on alpine flowstone slopes over 4,500 meters above sea level. It can grow up to 30 centimeters in height, which is considered quite tall for plants that grow on mountain slopes. It has adapted for survival by growing fuzz on its surface, which keeps its inside warm and allows it to reproduce. In places less than 4,000 meters above sea level, mountain habitats are more diverse. This is snow leopard territory. Their existence is proof of this area's complete ecological system and food chain, and of its great biological diversity. The Ruhr-Argai wetland is 3,500 meters above sea level. It's thought to be the largest alpine peat marsh in the world. Wetlands are one of the most important ecosystems on this planet. Ruhr-Argai wetland is a major ecological barrier on the Qinghai-Tibet Plateau. It's also an important water source and water conservation region for the upper reaches of the Yellow River. As the wetland conservation system improves, it has become a paradise for the plateau's inhabitants. Streams from the Qinghai-Tibet Plateau flowing to the east and south converge into torrential currents. Near the Hengduan Mountains, the vegetation becomes increasingly dense. The Hengduan Mountains are the longest, widest, and most typical north-south mountain range in China. Rivers continually erode the mountains, creating multiple gorges. The distance from the mountaintop to the bottom of the gorges can exceed 3,000 meters. The huge height difference has given this place the most diverse mountain ecosystem in the world. Rhododendrons come in many varieties, depending on the altitude and direction of the slopes. The results are breathtaking. Different zones of white, pink, and scarlet rhododendrons. The Minshan and Qinghai Mountains in the northernmost part of the Hengduan Mountains are home to the golden snub-nosed monkey. Adult monkeys have golden hair and light blue faces. The largest male is the alpha and can weigh up to 15 kilograms. Females weigh only half as much and have a much gentler nature. Newborns have gray hair and pink hands. There are over 100 monkeys in this troop. They are typical opportunists. As the seasons change, they look for tender shoots, buds, bark, and fruit in mountainous areas at different altitudes. Occasionally, they also prey on birds and insects. They are the most active animals in the forest. The Hengduan Mountains once blocked the southward spread of glaciers in the Quaternary period. As a result, some relic species still exist in the folds of the mountains. The dove tree got its name from its flowers, which resemble flying doves. It was discovered by French missionary Armand David in Ya'an, Sichuan, 150 years ago. He took it to Europe and North America, and then it became a precious ornamental tree, popular around the world. The dry, hot valleys in the southern tip of the Hengduan Mountains are home to the ancient sago palm. These are the northernmost places where this kind of plant can grow. It's the oldest existing spermatophyte in the world. It flourished during the Jurassic period and once dominated the planet together with dinosaurs. The most famous relic species in the Hengduan Mountains is the giant panda, the national treasure of China. About 6 million years ago, giant pandas stopped eating meat and began feeding mainly on bamboo. They are known for their cuteness and are the calling card of China. Tourists love watching them chew on bamboo. There are 5 giant panda breeding bases in Sichuan and more than 1,300 wild pandas living in the mountains. An adult panda can weigh up to 100 kilograms. Their courtship is more like a frolic. In the forest, giant pandas move quickly and are hard to track. But research into wild giant pandas continues. The southeast monsoon makes the windward slopes at altitudes of 2,400 to 3,500 meters cool and humid, with lush vegetation. Pandas are masters of hide and seek. Their favorite places are the valleys and cols where they can hide. No one knows this land better than the staff at the nature reserve. They can determine the number of pandas in an area, as well as their living status, just by analyzing their dung. Hengduan National Nature Reserve is located in the south of the distribution range of giant pandas and home to 45 recorded wild giant pandas. According to the 4th National Giant Panda Survey, the population of wild giant pandas in China has exceeded 1,800. After years of protection work, their living status has improved dramatically. Rain and fog are endless on this mountain range. Along the eastern edges of the Hengduan Mountains and at the transitional zone between the western Sichuan Plateau and the Chengdu Plain is the West China Rain Zone. It is a narrow zone which is 50 to 70 kilometers wide and stretches for 450 kilometers from the south to the north. This is where the Southeast Pacific monsoon and the Southwest Indian Ocean monsoon meet. Water vapor condenses in the mountains, bringing abundant rainfall and fog. There are more than 210 rainy days a year here, bringing up to 2,000 millimeters of annual precipitation. It's one of the rainiest and foggiest places in China.
Everyone moves at their own pace, even when times are changing. As long as we move forward, as long as we seek the high ground, what we strive for is progress and betterment for all.
(2,400 meters above sea level), a rare creature lives in the ponds in Sichuan's Liangshan Mountains. The Ta-liang knobby newt has rough brown-black skin covered with warts. It has a raised orange ridge from its snout to his ears. In June, the newt decides to leave its home in the pond and goes on a hike on the ground. It moves clumsily on this terrain, but it has sensed the call from afar and is determined to go on. The Ta-liang knobby newt breeding season has begun. This mountain hermit is off to look for its other half. The newt must travel a long way to some other pond in the mountains just to find the right one. In the high mountains and deep gorges, species from the Qinghai-Tibet Plateau, Indo-Malayan realm, and local species fuse, spawning various rare animals and plants. This wild plant, locally called light leaf fern, is under first-class protection in China and is unique to Sichuan. There are many different varieties of wild lilies here. Even those growing in mountain valleys just 30 kilometers apart are different. The climate in the West China rain zone is very special. This place boasts great biodiversity and is a wonderland of fauna and flora. Some species previously thought to be extinct have been rediscovered here. The West China rain zone is a shelter and a gene pool for many species. For such a tiny area, it is home to an astonishing number of rare animals and plants. There are also dry, hot valleys in the Hengduan Mountains. They are usually located in the middle and lower parts of the deeply incised valleys. The vegetation in these places is usually low and sparse. Large swaths of cacti can be found in the southern Hengduan Mountains. This desert plant was introduced here from Mexico hundreds of years ago and has since taken on a local look. The originally flat blades degraded, became smaller, and gradually vanished. The plant no longer grows in a rosette form and now looks like a tree. The Sichuan japalur and cacti form a miniaturized Central American landscape. It's an effective predator. Little insects and their larvae are all part of its diet. Many rivers flow down from where the plateau, mountains, and Sichuan basin meet, forming a steady water system. Many unknown and mysterious places lie between the plains and the hills. Beneath the bamboo grove, the karst landform has created a large underground cave group. Only the bravest of explorers enter the limestone caves, which are over 100 meters deep. Previously, few people knew about the karst landform in southern Sichuan. In the last decade, many new caves have been discovered. This water has flowed for millions of years. The calcium carbonate minerals in it were deposited, creating this splendid travertine. Above the karst caves is the southern Sichuan Bamboo Sea, home to the world's largest natural bamboo forest. Bamboo is one of the most vibrant plants on this planet. The Chinese people have lived with bamboo since ancient times. They'd rather go without meat than live without bamboo. For them, bamboo is indispensable. The southern Sichuan Bamboo Sea covers 28 mountain ridges and more than 500 hills. It is home to over 400 types of bamboo, with 58 native species of 15 genera. There are hidden valleys near Zhiguang in the hilly areas between the high mountains and the plain. The flying spider monkey tree fern, another rare ancient plant, grows here. It is the only fern that can grow to such a size and height. 180 million years ago, it was the most abundant plant on Earth and was an important source of food for large herbivorous dinosaurs. It needs a mild and humid environment. It has a long reproduction cycle, and its sporophytes grow slowly. The ancient relic plant can only be found in a few sheltered areas around the world. Guangwu Mountain is located in northern Sichuan, at a junction where cold and warm climates meet. It's known as the north of southern China and south of northern China. The clouds billow and the mountains stand high. In autumn, the slopes are covered in red leaves that form a striking carpet between the sky and the earth. At the northern edge of the Sichuan Basin is an ancient route between Shanxi Province and Sichuan. More than 20,000 ancient cypresses stand along this route. The oldest is 2,300 years old. The trees were first grown in the Qin dynasty. In ancient times, county magistrates had to check the number of trees when they assumed and left office, a practice continued today by the county heads. Perhaps this is the origin of China's forest chief scheme. This practice has been passed down over generations, protecting the ancient cypresses. The Jinsha and Minjiang rivers join in Yibin. It's the starting point of the Yangtze River. The rivers that originate in the eastern edge of the Qinghai-Tibet Plateau eventually meet here. More often than not, cities emerge where rivers meet. The Dadu, Qingyi, and Minjiang rivers meet in Luoshan. The Luoshan giant Buddha has been watching over this spot for more than 1,000 years. Sculptors from the Tang dynasty carved this 71-meter-high statue out of a cliff face 1,200 years ago. The reddish-brown sandstone and shale are characteristics of the Sichuan Basin. Mudstone is easily weathered and rich in calcium, phosphorus, potassium, and other nutrients. This has blessed the basin with fertile soil and developed agriculture. Sandstone is a perfect material for sculpting. The carvings have survived thousands of years of wind and water erosion, capturing that era for generations of Chinese. Sichuan spans the southeastern edge of the Qinghai-Tibet Plateau. Its huge difference in altitude over such a short distance creates complete vertical vegetation belts that go from cold to subtropical zones. It also results in highly varied ecological distribution and a rich and colorful diversity of fauna and flora. The mountains here seem to pierce heaven. The water rushes into the sea, never to come back. Sichuan is home to a kaleidoscope of living things. The story of life slowly unfolds. Here, plateaus and plains echo each other. Mountains and rivers intertwine. Man and nature live in harmony. This is Sichuan, an ecological paradise, a land of abundance, and a land of blessing.
CGTN documentary. See the changes.